Our next guest here at the Ice Cream Social is Dr. Corwin Nelson from the University of Florida. Corwin, when we're usually at the Real Science Exchange, we're having some beverages, and tonight we're having ice cream. So I'm going to ask, what's in your dish tonight?
So I got vanilla ice cream with hot fudge and pecans and some whipped cream on top.
Nice,
Wow.
nice.
Wow.
And Clay, I didn't ask you. Your dish is empty.
Almost. It's vanilla.
Okay. All right. Very well. And we got Kari Estes over here from Balchem. Kari, your dish is empty as well, but what was you having?
I had vanilla ice cream, caramel sauce, chocolate jimmies, whipped cream, and a cherry on top.
Wow, nice. Excellent. I just went with the vanilla with the caramel. Corwin, sorry, we dispensed with all the fun. So you're the organizer of the contest for the oral presentations and the posters. Tell us a little bit about yourself first.
So I'm an associate professor at University of Florida. I've been there for 9 years now, hard to believe, but I work on a general area of nutrition and immunology, dairy cows.
Okay, very well. And can you give us an overview of the contest? You know, how did it come about? How long have they been doing it? Some of those kind of things.
Wow, how long have they been doing? This has been a pretty long-standing tradition for dairy science to do these contests. So just a little bit of an overview. So when the students submit their abstracts back in February, they're able to indicate whether or not they want to participate in, depending on their level, PhD or master's, if they want to do a poster or oral competition. And this year we did something new where they could present virtually, because we did all the competitions virtually. They could select whether they wanted to present in that, plus in the general session. So that was something new that we did learn something from this year. Just how to communicate that well is a new thing that we had. We've judged these virtually for the previous 2 years because we were virtual.
Yeah.
So
and how's that working out?
Yes. So it was judging virtually has been a great way to do it. You can sit down, go through them, talk in between. It's a great way to do them. When we first did this 2 years ago, judging virtually, like, hey, this is a great way to do it. We should do this all the time. So now we'll sit back and once this is over and reevaluate. How did this go? What do we need to do different? So that'll be something we look at going forward to next year.
Yeah, good. Can you talk a little bit about the benefits for the students?
Yeah, so what the students did in presentation this year in the contest, they had 5 minutes to present their presentation. They uploaded a full-length presentation that everybody can go and view, so I encourage you to go view the full-length presentations. You can do that through the ADSA website. But then they had 5 minutes to present plus 3 minutes of questions. So they have to boil all their research, all their hard work into that short message there to convey all the research and that. So it's a great tool for them to be able to get through and learn how to communicate effectively that way.
Yeah, very well. No, in addition to being the organizer, you were also one of the judges, as was Kari Estes, so that's why we've got the two of you together. One of the questions I'd like to ask is, how do you go about it? So, Kari, remind me, you did posters, and did you do oral?
I did orals,
Okay.
yeah.
So, Kari, we'll start with you. How do you go about judging a poster competition?
It's a little challenging.
Yeah.
This was my first time doing it. I really enjoyed doing it. But we actually all have a judge's card that we go off of, all the judges do. And I think we're judging based on 4 different major categories. So anywhere from how the student is dressed and their enthusiasm during the presentation to the actual poster and the data, how they're interpreting the results, making sure there's no over-interpretation, and of course, like I said, the design of the poster too is pretty important.
Yeah. Were there any things that really stood out to you that really kind of caught your fancy?
For me, it was the enthusiasm of the students by far, right? That's what's so contagious. It makes us excited about the research too, right? So definitely was that, their level of understanding of their research and the enthusiasm.
Yeah, excellent.
So,
Great
Kari, for the posters, are they showing a poster on the screen, or how do they do that?
Yeah, this is a little bit different with the whole virtual thing, so or the hybrid, I guess I should say. So they have a choice. They can either present their poster, or they can use some slides. So there were students that did both. There were students that did slides and students that did posters, and they were both successfully done very well. So you can do it both ways.
So Corwin, as a judge for the oral presentations, anything that stood out to you? Well, first let me ask, what were you looking for?
So very much of the same things that Kari mentioned there. Just in this case, it'd be the quality of the slides, just how well they put everything together, every detail that they had filled into there, and then the presentation itself of being able to clearly express themselves, the enthusiasm that they'd have, just the clarity in that. So those were a lot of things. Scientific merit, we look for, what's the quality of the research that they're doing. So that's another aspect that we look for in that. And then the ability to answer questions at the end. That shows how well they really know their research. So that ability to do that, and that's what oftentimes can be a distinguishing factor.
So my guess is that, and my hope is, that there's going to be a lot of students that are listening to this that are going to want to participate next year. What kind of advice would you give them if they want to participate next year, and how should they prepare for their oral presentation?
Plan ahead.
Okay.
Be sure to plan ahead. If this is something you want to do, start thinking about what's going to be in there. Don't leave that abstract to the last minute. Be sure to get that in. Ask questions. So there's an email there for the committee chair. It won't be me next year. It'll be somebody else. So there's an email there for that committee chair. Email them to ask questions, or ADSA staff. So if there's any questions, be sure to ask questions. But certainly don't leave your abstract to the last minute.
Yeah, very well.
So I believe you can view some of the past winners online. Is that right?
So
some of the presentations?
Yes, certainly all of these have uploaded their full-length presentation, so go view them. I'm not positive on previous years. I think they are. I haven't checked for myself.
Yeah.
They may still be there.
And Kari, what advice do you have for next year's contestants?
I think it might depend if they're presenting virtual or not, or a hybrid. I think for posters especially, there's a little bit of flexibility, with doing slides or doing a poster. So I would maybe encourage students not to stay within the black box of a poster, maybe, add some animations. That's one thing about being in person is you're using your poster as your prop, right?
Yeah.
And when we're doing virtual, we kind of lose that. So maybe just use some of the technology to your advantage.
Yeah. One piece of advice I would have, I know that the GST has organized some mixers so that the students could meet some industry people. I would leverage those industry people. Call them up and practice with them. Say, hey, here's my presentation. What do you think? Industry people are all the time creating PowerPoints, presenting them to upper management. So just an idea I have.
You sound like you're volunteering, Scott.
I would volunteer, Clay. I got to tell you, I love the students. I'd be more than happy. Call me. All right. Corwin, Kari, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Thank you. Thanks.
We'd love to hear your comments or ideas for topics and guests, so please reach out via email to anh.marketing@balchem.com with any suggestions, and we'll work hard to add them to the schedule. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on your way out. You can request your Real Science Exchange t-shirt in just a few easy steps. Just like or subscribe to the Real Science Exchange and send us a screenshot along with your address and t-shirt size to anh.marketing@balchem.com. Balchem's Real Science Lecture Series of webinars continues with ruminant-focused topics on the first Tuesday of every month, monogastric-focused topics on the second Tuesday of each month, and quarterly topics for the companion animal segment. Visit balchem.com/realscience to see the latest schedule and to register for upcoming webinars.